All right, we have a light group tonight, but our July 13th, 2026 meeting, can we please call the roll?
Yes, Chairperson Gansey,
Here.
Erickson, Tabasco.
Here.
Suffern, I'm going to give him a here. Ansford is not here. Peggy O'Hare? Robert Gorski, nope. Amy Tulaski, nope. Dave Weatherton, nope. Kinga Skotak?
Here.
Blake Cook?
Here.
And Jeff Peters?
Here.
Okay. You've been marked here.
Perfect. All right, with that, can I have a motion to approve the June 8th, 2026 meeting minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Erickson, seconded by Commissioner O'Hare. Any comment, any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll call the roll for that too, please.
Sure. Erickson?
Yes.
Suffern? O'Hare? Skotak?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Cook?
Yes.
Tabasco?
Here.
And Chairperson Gansey?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to public comment. Seeing nobody in the audience or anything else, I think it's safe to say we can move on to the pièce de résistance of the night, the Lake Street Corridor Master Plan.
Thank you, Chairperson Gansey. As we've spoken about this Lake Street Corridor TIF quite a bit at the CEAC as the northern gateway to our community. And as you all know, and you've participated in some of the focus groups, and we've updated you almost every month on what's going on with this. It is continuing to move forward. And what I'm going to do tonight is go through a couple of slides. You can see there's somebody here who's not normally at our CEAC meetings. Director of Planning and Development Services, Christy Stone, and she's been with the village even longer than I've been, and I don't think anybody knows these properties better than she does, frequently by PIN and address, so we talk about these frequently. So it's a fairly thick packet, I know. I put in a report that the consultants, Houseo Levine Associates, had put together as a result of all the focus groups that they conducted and all their studying and observations and reviewing statistics, looking at real estate data, and just a very comprehensive planning consultant review of that corridor. And then the other item that you see attached that we're going to talk a little bit more about tonight is the different development scenarios that were presented to the village board last month for their input, and that's the impetus for moving forward to the last part of the presentation, our open house next week. So I'll recap once again. You see the map up there. We're not talking about necessarily the TIF in its entirety. This time we're focusing on land that the village controls and IDOT currently controls, and some private owners as well, but you can see that's a big bulk of 43 acres owned by IDOT. The piece of land that the village bought probably late summer or fall, 20 acres right in the middle of Lake Street there. And then you can see in the blue dots the depiction of the Oak Avenue realignment, how the road improvements are going to really change the landscape of that. So again, quick summary. I took it straight from the consultant's report. The area includes a combination of village-owned land, IDOT excess property, private commercial parcels, undeveloped land, roadways, wetlands, detention areas, and of course, keeping in mind the adjacent residential neighborhoods. So moving on to the next, there's 5 themes They came up in the developer focus groups as well as the CEAC, if you recall, I think back in April was broken up into 2 groups to discuss your thoughts on it. And of course, we say this every time, but this is what it is, a gateway identity to the village, very highly visible, thousands, I mean, really about 40,000 vehicles a day traveling along the Lake Street corridor in that area. We want to make it an active destination, something that has an attractive, active, diverse mix of uses. Community character, we talk a lot about that. Spent a lot of time working on community branding and improving the village's brand and really just making it like a very attractive area when people know, if they're driving even just through Bartlett on their way somewhere else, we want it to look really good and really to be able to attract people to either patronize the businesses that are there or live over there, go to events over there, and some of them will turn, and head that 1 mile into our downtown area as well. So placemaking, we talked about that, again, kind of piggybacking off of the last concept, evolving beyond standard commercial with strong placemaking. I know Trustee Gansey said that a few times. Some other people did. We're not looking for lack of a better description, kind of the same development pattern that you see maybe every 3 to 5 miles when you're driving. There's certain fast food and casual restaurants. You're gonna see 5 of them if you drive 20 miles. It's not saying that there won't be any of those. But, we are looking to attract some development that distinguishes that area from your typical suburban strip retail type of development. And then site constraints, there's plenty. Whenever developers call and ask me a million questions about it, and they go, wow, that's tough. There's IDOT and the access, and there's wetlands. And my answer to them, same answer you could all give, I say that's why it's a TIF. It's a TIF district. It qualified with several blighting factors that the village was taking concrete step by step to eliminate it, most notably those vacant buildings that I used to show you pictures of and that Christie's department coordinated the demolition of. So there are site constraints. People talk about those a lot. It's true there are site constraints, but that's part of the entire process that we're going through right now. And also you can stop me if you need, because I'm going fast, but we're getting into the meat of what we're looking at tonight is 3 different scenarios. Scenario A being the highest density. You have copies of that in your packet, your paper packet too, if you prefer to look at it on paper in front of you. B, more of a balanced mixed use, and C, they call it landscape forward. The inset over there is just some nice pictures of being able to show you what we mean by that. It's one thing to say, hey, this will be a residential area, or this will be townhomes, or this will be an area where bikes and pedestrians can pass. But this is a little more showing you what it could be, some of the newest and nicest development that we're hoping to attract in this corridor. So going on to scenario A, they call it Lake Street Mixed Use District, organized around Lake Street frontage and a central market core. This is a mix of commercial entertainment and some single family housing attached on the western edge of this, and also on the southern, you can see over there, kind of near the school. Tests a large-scale destination entertainment anchor. That's part of the concept, too, of trying to attract something beyond living and shopping. Not just going to a restaurant, but hopefully something people can linger, enjoy themselves, spend a few hours, not necessarily always be shopping and spending, although we want people to shop and spend, but something that also has some kind of like a third place element to it. Board looked at it as a very good revenue potential, possibly appearing a little too busy. This is really You know, like a developer would look at it wanting to maximize every square foot of the land, and that's kind of what this scenario looks like.
So when our village board saw that, we put that one down, right?
Right.
Correct? And so like we were looking more at B and C. So I guess my question is, when we have our open house next week, is scenario A being presented there?
No. So the Houseo Levine currently is working on a scenario D, where it's kind of pulling the information, what you liked, what the village board liked from each of the different scenarios, and then putting that together. They're also working with Michael Baker International, who is the engineering firm we hired to do the Oak Avenue realignment. Now that we've kind of started looking at some of the densities for the residential and some of the uses that we'd be looking for, we want to make sure the traffic patterns are going to work on Oak. So there may actually be some changes to how Oak Avenue is going to be realigned, particularly with the school site.
Okay,
So we're trying to make sure everything's coordinated.
okay.
So scenario D will get public input, and then that will be integrated, and then what we will ultimately have is a scenario E that we would be adopting.
Okay. Thank
Yeah, we'll be bringing those as well forward to the CEAC to show you as this progresses, for sure. And also, I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself, but this will ultimately result in a request for proposals. So we'll be looking at, you know, sending out some scenarios that are optimal, that the mayor and board feel is the optimal development for this site. So anyhow, B, as you can see, it's a little more balanced. They call it the Bartlett Commons Village, and this has a little more flexible housing types. You know, some multifamily sprinkled in there as well. Tastefully done, of course. There was some discussion about that. And also, I want to add from the economic development perspective and the kind of calls that I get, that's a frequent one. There was a big apartment boom for years, and it seems like we're kind of on the tail end of it, as a lot of apartment buildings have been built throughout the suburban area. But that's one of the things that will also drive this development, the need for modern, let's use the word, kind of higher end apartments here in Bartlett. Nothing's been built like that for, I've been saying 40 years for about 10 years, so it might be closer to 50 years at this point. But anyway, scenario B is a little less dense. It has a little more varied housing, some additional open space. They talked about putting in an ecological park, possibly, and this balances the commercial, entertainment, and residential uses more evenly than scenario A. But then moving on, unless there's questions about this, and we'll return to these if you have questions. Scenario C is, the consultants called it the Greenway District, landscape forward, really more, you see a lot of green on that map, and you see mixed use, entertainment and commercial, building heights scaled down a little bit more. It's fair to say this is probably the least dense scenario. And like Christy just said, the board's directed Houseo Levine to take quite a few, it seems like the trustees favored this scenario C and B, and we're looking at doing some kind of hybrid maybe somewhere in between these two. There's a happy place where a developer would be, willing to build it the way we want, and it would look as nice as the village would expect it to be on the northern gateway of the town. Any questions about B or C yet? Okay, yes.
So can you just describe for me, what does market mean? Are we talking small stores, boutique stores? Are we talking a grocery market? What the area market?
It could, yes, it could be any of those. It could be some open space for farmers market type of things. We talk about TOMS also being an integral part of this development. We're committed to working with them, so it can be an enhanced, even TOMS can be integrated into that. But yeah, it could end up being a little specialty markets.
The idea at this point is more specialty and small markets, not a grocery store. Would that be correct?
I wouldn't want to sit here tonight and say not a grocery store.
Okay,
One of the earliest
bad idea, but
Yeah.
it's just, it's a lot of space.
Yeah.
But
So Tom's, when we spoke with Tom's, they were part of one of our focus groups. They wanted to be integrated into the plan somehow. They said they did not require that they keep the Lake Street frontage. So the market space was an area that they could be relocated to. They would still have visibility, and then we're trying to find a way to make that location utilized year-round. So for example, Huntley recently created some little pop-up shops that they have where you can, different businesses can lease them out for a few months. They don't have bathrooms, they're just kind of like nice sheds almost that are upgraded. It's really cute, it's little boutiques. It's kind of an incubator space for businesses that are trying to move from being home-based but aren't ready to commit to a full retail lease space. So it could be something like that. Yes, yes. So it's something where these concepts are all still very conceptual. We're just trying to figure out what are types of spaces that we can have that we can utilize and maximize to get year-round interest. Because Tom's is only open 2 months a year. We would still want to have a space that's utilized. You know, maybe there's like a Kris Kringle market or something like that in the winter. Just different possibilities that we would have flexibility with. Yes. So they might be, the whole space is not dedicated just for Tom's. So, yeah.
yeah. So I have another question about multifamily. Like, are we looking for a number of single-family homes and multifamily units? Is there like some magic number or something that Bartlett has come up with to say that we need this much housing? Is there such a thing?
So we have hired, Pausio Levine partners with the Meach Group, who is a financial analyst. So they look at this to say, what kinds of density do you need for a developer to even be interested in doing apartments or condos? When we say multifamily, apartments and condos are treated the same. So they look at it, they want to make sure that whatever our plan is, we don't just want it to look great on paper. We want this to be something that someone would come in, could be constructed, and would still be sustainable. So that is all being looked into as we're drilling down now to get more into the densities now that we're figuring out what the board's direction.
Most likely, even like once we have like a plan, someone's going to come in and try to lean on us what they want.
Right.
You know, and we're gonna have to be like, oh, is that what we want, or we say no? Like, it's gonna be zoned.
Well, as long as it's nice.
For the apartment developers that I've spoken with, they're all basically focused on 5-story buildings. There was a brief discussion about that even with the consultants, that it can be kind of stepped down. It doesn't have to be a big blocky 5-story building. There can be multiple levels of it, like sunroofs, if you will. And just from having done this for a long time, 200 is kind of the magic number a lot of times for units, for attracting what they call institutional money, somebody who would build 15 of these throughout the suburbs. And and some of those developers were involved in the focus groups as well. So that's kind of what we heard from them. Yeah. For those, they were talking about strictly apartment buildings. There was some discussion, and some of the focus group members suggested some mixed use with retail. And again, just from the perspective of engaging with a lot of developers, if they do that, they would want to be closer to Lake Street frontage. They would want, obviously, if you have a restaurant, like the restaurants across the street, they would want people to be able to see them and their signs as they drive by. They wouldn't want to be behind other buildings, per se. That's a good question. So board direction was, scenario A was considered too dense, preference for combining the strengths of B and C. I didn't know about the E until Christy just said that, so I said the hybrid scenario D is being refined. And also, of course, I'm going to stress when we are here talking tonight about some additional residential and possible apartment buildings, there was a lot of discussion about the making sure that is buffered well. Everybody's aware, the village, the developers, the board, all the commissions, that there's residential neighborhoods surrounding this. So we're all going to keep that in mind as it winds its way through the approval process. And next Wednesday is a big night here, and we're going to be holding the open house. We're promoting it a lot, which kind of leads me towards Ricci's portion of the meeting. But you'll see it on our social media, and you'll see it on our newsletters. We're doing everything we can to get the word out that, this is a very, open process that we're going through. And we want to hear some of the feedback from residents. So it's an open house format. I guess it's going to be in this room.
Yes.
And it's next Wednesday from 7 to 9. So we're hoping to get, plenty of people in to take a look at this. And Christy was telling me a little bit about what we could expect at the open house, and it will be a little bit more refined than these maps that we showed you tonight.
Can you tell us about that, the process they're using, please?
So it's going to be more of like stations where you're talking to the planners, you're either talking to Housing Levine, you're talking to our staff, getting into more small group discussions over what the plans are, what people like about it, what they don't like about it, what their concerns are. And that is really going to be key to making sure, you're never going to make everyone happy, but if there are concerns, you want to make sure you're addressing them and minimizing them as much as you can. So it's going to be, they'll have samples of pictures. Do you like how this kind of building what kind of look do you like for your residential? So trying to help narrow it so that when we come to this and start advertising this to developers with the master plan, we're not saying this is exactly what it has to look like, but it kind of gives them an idea of what our expectations are, because they're going to be bringing us proposals, whether we try to find one master developer that can do everything, or if we kind of divide this out and say, which firm can do the residential, which firm do we want to do the commercial components. We're already getting national developers that are reaching out to us and saying, we want to be involved in your process, which is very exciting. We've never had anything like that before. So it's an exciting time, and there's a lot of interest already, and we're not really publicizing it because we wanted to wait till we get our vision determined.
We hope you can attend.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, yes.
Like, what cookies do we have? No.
Any questions for Ms. Stone or myself on this? And
Nightclubs.
Nightclubs is what she said. We're gonna have a nightclub. We're gonna have the mirrored ball.
So entertainment can be anything from like the Andretti go-karting, something along those scales. It's something where you're bringing someone in and they're at that location for about an hour to 2 hours minimum. So there are national retailers that they scale things based on what your population are and say, okay, you're not gonna get a Topgolf, but maybe you can get something where they know the companies that do the indoor electronic, like batting cages. I know I seem very sports, but that's what my kids are into. But, but it's something like that. It's mini golf. It could be bowling, and any of the things like that.
Different than retail. So like that's the reason like I personally liked C was because I envisioned somewhere where people can come do something like or be outside. Like there's things that keep people there, not just like a strip mall where you're like go in, grab something, leave. Like what's something that can keep you around there? How can you have events like other, you know, so there's more space on that one. So yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. That's a good question. You'll have to answer it next week on Wednesday when everyone's here.
Yeah, I think people will ask that. That's a good question to
Right.
bring up tonight, because I think the same thing, like doing something active. But even as somebody who I used to go to a lot of small concert venues too. That would be a fun thing
That'd be
to do
awesome.
over there.
The rave.
As you think about entertainment, just a thought. Family things, attractions for children, really attract people during the day. Now, they're not as much a part of your nighttime. But you just see what McDonald's did with those balls and when they first introduced those gyms and things like that. And so if we're gonna have a common entertainment area, attraction,
Playroom.
something oriented for children, petting zoo. Something.
That's something though that, to his point, children, attract you during the day with friendly activity in the night, say business, turn it over to, more the adults, funny.
All right, any other questions on the Lake Street Corridor Master Plan?
To see you Wednesday.
All right, see you on Wednesday.
I have one more question.
Sure.
On the pages that mark atmosphere. Could you talk about what ideas have been bounced around for creating atmosphere?
So it's trying to have it be a sense of place so that when you are there, you know you're somewhere different. You want it to be something that, a lot of times when you're in the suburban strip malls, it doesn't matter whether you're in Streamwood or Schaumburg. We really want this to have that family feeling. That was one of the big comments that we had, was that Bartlett's very family oriented. You want it to feel very welcoming, you want it to be engaging and make people want to stay there. So a lot of outdoor malls, you notice that they have little gathering places. They might have like a fire pit area. They have outdoor seating that's not really tied to a restaurant, but just so you can sit out, you can hang out. You want to have that feeling that you're welcome and that we want you there.
You know, at Brewster Creek, when we all started Brewster Creek, you built a beautiful limestone sign. Really impressive, made you feel like you're high-end industrial. Good job on that. Mike Carl from that.
Yeah, and we're looking at really emphasizing that this is the gateway, and that it's bringing people to downtown too. So we don't want it to say that this is all what our focus is, but trying to figure out a way, if you can go back to one of the slides. Okay, maybe not. So they were taught, yeah, that one will work. So they were, let's see, there's my laser pointer. So they were talking about making this, instead of, originally they were thinking of like an ecological park, they were thinking of making this a little bit more active. So it would be a draw for people from both directions, and as you're approaching that we start giving you more information about what's downtown. So you'd have additional signage there directing people to the downtown, more restaurants, more shops, to try to make this all cohesive and not competitive. I don't think so at that point. I don't think so at this point. I think it's just I think by that they just meant, you know, being bike friendly and things like that.
You know, the old street lights that all put in members that outline the downtown. Perhaps that kind of lighting could be integrated into this, merge the two districts.
That's a good idea. Yeah. So come with ideas next Wednesday.
I'll be camping.
You can still email us, Bruce.
Yeah, keep these packets. You should be looking at these at breakfast every day. All right, we'll move on to community events update with Richie. Oh, with this, okay.
All right, so I just want to give you guys some social media updates and event updates as well. If y'all didn't follow our Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, we announced the winners for the Star Spangled Bartlett contest. The Village Board chose 247 Lincoln Drive as their home favorite and Durango Family Dental for the most patriotic business. And then we have signs printed for them that Tony and I will be dropping off sometime this week with also a gift card to Home Depot to thank them for their patriotic designs. And also, we announced that the Village now has a TikTok page. It's been about 2 weeks, I want to say, and we're already up to 279 followers. It's a verified account, so people know that it's a legitimate government page, that it's not just a parody or anything like that. So far, we've been doing really great. We're getting almost 2,000 views for the posts that we've been putting in there. A lot of for the 4th of July promotions so far, but we'll get into more of the later events too. And then I just thought this was interesting metric from followers to viewers. So viewers is just anybody on TikTok can view it, but our actual followers make up, it's about half and half, male and female. But for viewing wise, it's more males, which was interesting to me. And then the age group. We thought we would hit a demographic of younger kids that we want to kind of educate about what the municipal village does. We're actually hitting close to what our Facebook demographic is, which is really interesting.
Are you saying 35 to 44 is no longer young?
I think our thought process behind TikTok was that we would get like the high schoolers and the kids going into college that would want to learn about what their village does. But yes, this was a very interesting metric for me to see that we're getting that demographic, but also we still hit the same demographic that we do want to hit anyway. And then, so the original TikTok plan for this was just to give you just an idea of what we really want to do with a TikTok account is basically humanizing the village. We want to highlight some of our businesses in town, talk to our residents about what our staff does for them, for the village, give them a little edutainment, make it fun and not trendy, but like, so you can absorb it. Like people absorb information differently. So a video style content, you have a way to reach people differently. So we want to see if we can educate the Bartlett residents, or any residents actually, just about how to be more civically engaged. So we're going to talk about municipal services, like how does your water get treated, or how do they fix a water main break, or what do you do when there is a water main break and stuff like that. But just in a visual format rather than your quick pictures or words. And then it's like a visual newsletter. So we've been doing Minute with the Mayor. It's like a little catchy thing where we talk to the mayor and ask him, hey, mayor, like what happened at the board meeting last night? It's his chance to kind of recap some of the items that gets talked about. And we'll be doing it with the trustees too. So the trustees will have some sessions around town of the items that they do feel passionate and want to talk about. So their different committees and their boards, they'll talk about it. And then we talk about the upcoming events. So you guys have been seeing, like I said, the 4th of July stuff. Bartlett PD has a lot of events in the summer, so we've been really capturing a lot of Bartlett PD. But we're hoping to get into more of the different events as well, like our open houses. I think we're gonna do one for Lake Street open house, so they'll be here. We'll take a little recap of like what that open house looks like. And then our Merry and Bright event that really encapsulates our whole year, so we're excited for that. But yeah, speaking of upcoming events.
I have a quick question with social. So we have our village page, we have Discover Bartlett. Do you have like a different plan for each of those?
So the Discover Bartlett was initially for economic development use. We don't have a Village of Bartlett Instagram, but we do have a Discover Bartlett Instagram, which is for economic development uses.
Right, right. I started the Discover Bartlett page a very long time ago, probably like 13 or 14 years ago. And it was through an EDC discussion, actually. And, you know, the purpose for that one was really more geared towards promoting businesses and events. But as the village main page has grown and grown and grown, that's where people tend to go to see events. But when there's little things like a business special or a big game coming up, you know, that's the kind of thing, you know, I look to share on Discover Bartlett to boost businesses. Sometimes, I've said this at meetings before, when businesses call me, maybe when things are a little slow, or if they just want, you know, want a little local boost on social media. That's what we use that page for.
So do we have any parameters, like if anyone calls us, we make a video for them?
We haven't really done that, but I think we'd be open to it. We've posted that from time to time, not for a while, but we did post it. You know, if you want your video spotlighted, you know, get in touch with me or reach you now. So, yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
But we do have plans to do the professional video style for each of the businesses. We're going to do a strip mall at a time. And Tony's been making contacts with businesses to see if they're interested in being featured. And then we just kind of make the schedule from there.
Okay.
They are on, yes. Yes, yeah.
I'm just like wondering if we have to be careful, like, with the businesses on our village page and not just Discover Bartlett. Like, what if something bad happens?
Something bad happens with the business, or you mean comment-wise, or just in general?
I feel like almost in general. I mean, if we're saying any businesses can come to us, what happens when a massage parlor comes to us? We have to say yes.
Well, we don't have to. There's not there's some discretion involved, I would say, when you're promoting businesses in town. And I'm not going to
that's just
disparage
what
any
I feel
particular
like.
type, but what we're starting with is basically restaurants and shops, you know, service providers that might have a special thing coming up. You know, we'll have to
I guess I
know
feel
that
like
if it
I
happens.
differentiate between like a goal of the village is I want people to come to Bartlett and spend money in Bartlett versus like narrowing in on like certain business, like Discover Bartlett, yes, right?
Yes.
Business separate.
Yes.
Village,
Yes, we're more specific about what we cross-share using the Village of Bartlett Facebook page versus what the Discover, like Tony was saying. if businesses want to promote like their specials, it usually goes on the Discover Bartlett. It doesn't go on the Village one.
Okay.
So Facebook has a standard for when they start filtering some of the comments. Usually there's a most relevant, so if their comments are not relevant to what was posted, they usually get hidden in a way until you say, I want to see all of the comments. Or if they have derogatory terms or certain keywords that Facebook itself monitors and filters out. But because of the First Amendment, we can't hide or delete comments. We can only monitor it, and right now, it's just me monitoring it, so it's difficult to monitor all these pages. I try to get to it as soon as I see something, like if I can answer a question, I would typically get to it, like, oh, yeah, you can look at this page, or this is the website, and just redirect them to get their answers. But as far as like you can even directly message these pages, but it's just me monitoring it so far. And then if I have to escalate things, I do to police, and they'll get involved. Or if it's something that Christy's team has to answer, then I'll direct it to Christy's team. No, no. Yeah. We do have a social media policy out on our website that explains explicitly that these are not monitored 24/7. If you really need to get a hold of somebody from the Village, these are the proper ways to do it. And then our messaging has an automated message that responds, again, this is not monitored 24/7, here's how you get a hold of us. So we've been kind of okay with that. But like I said, if I can get to it and if I can answer it, I will. But so far, they've been good comments.
Actually, I think that's like a good thing for us to even bring up. We had a lawyer here a few years ago going over like with social media, and I feel like it might be time, because I am also like worried, like how we said we would say no, so we're gonna treat businesses differently that are in our community. That worries me a little bit.
Well, I know TikTok comments get really rude sometimes too.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. It's,
Yeah. Yeah, it was a rough holiday weekend for communications.
at the same time, like, there's gonna be positive, negative, as long as it's not, I think that what we learned last time, if there was truly something like obscene or wrong or whatever, there was things we could do. But there
Correct,
was
yeah.
just someone having an opinion
Correct, yeah.
was not.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, most of the outgoing or the feedback that we've been getting is positive because it's more communications. So yes, it's a downside of more communications. It's for the public to be able to give us their opinions right back. But we just take it all with a grain of salt. And hopefully we can communicate better. That's all we can do. Okay.
Overall, I think you've been doing a fantastic
Yeah.
job with getting things out there, so
We're trying, yeah. We have a lot of different ways to communicate. Like I said, we have the Bartlett Connect app.
and that's been fantastic with the messaging. That's how I envisioned seeing it, and like, I love that, like, every event, not just when the roads close, but events that are going on, it's like a great way to get it right in front of us. Way better than a digital sign.
Yeah, it's got push notifications if you subscribe to it. It can send it to your email. So we've been trying to hit up all of the different communication styles that people have out
Yeah.
there right now. I mean, we can't be everywhere, but we're trying, so.
Perfect, thank you.
And then, so yeah, like upcoming events that we have, I just want to quickly show you. On our village calendar, it's mostly full this summer. There's a lot of things happening on the weeks ahead. So like right now, we're at the Green for our meeting tonight. So this week alone, we have a blood drive here on Wednesday. It's open to the public. They have a link on there to schedule your appointment if you would like to, but you can just walk into and donate blood. Rhythm and Roots is having their second night over here at Town Center on Thursday. It's Latin night, or Latin-inspired night. And then Pam, our museum director, is having a museum event here in the middle of the day at 1 p.m. to talk about celebrating 250 years of America with a guest speaker, Terry Lynch. So It's going to be interesting that she's doing a daytime event. So
Was
hopefully.
was that full already?
No, she doesn't have registrations. You can register, but she's got like 40 people already.
Yeah, those are always like sold out or
She's always packed in her events. But yeah, and then next week we've got the roll call for the police department over at the Bartlett Lakes apartment, and they're going to be giving away free backpacks, school backpacks. And then that Lake Street TIF that Tony talked to you about over here at Village Hall, 7 to 9 the same night. And then we've got our Head to the Hills Family Golf Festival at Bartlett Hills on the 25th. And then National Night Out starts at the end of this month. So our summer is kicking up in gear. Hopefully we just stay with the good weather. But yeah, National Night Out, July 31st, you've got your family movie night, and I think they're going to show the Super Mario movie. That's why it's the Super Mario theme. And Twilight Pool Party at the Barracuda Bay Water Park. Also on Facebook, we've started a new thing of creating events there, so you can just share the event information in the event page rather than just an image or one of the videos that we have. So hopefully this will attract more event goers because there's an actual event that you can search for and Google for on Facebook. So all of the National Night Outs will be there. Lake Street Corridor Open House will be there. And if the more information we get, if there's information changes, we can update that event page. Bartlett Chamber's really good at doing event pages too. So took one out of their page for doing that for events. And then yeah, if you guys can just share it, it'll be easy to share it, say you're interested. It feeds into the algorithm. So the more people say they're interested or share it, your friend network will also start getting suggested of, hey, your friend was interested in this, maybe you are too. So we're just gonna push that out a little bit more and see how much traction we get. And then yeah, Picnic in the Park, the big one, August 4th. Board meeting will be moved to that following Wednesday instead of that Tuesday night. And then August events, we've got the Hoods and Horsepower Car Show by the Bartlett Lions Club, and then the Smoke and Irons Music Fest for Ignite the Courage. But yeah, we're a busy summer. So that's all I have. If you guys have any more questions about events. Yeah. The blood drive on Wednesday is at 11 here at Village Hall. Yes.
I just want to give a shout out to Blake for all the work he put in for 4th of July. He was juggling, he juggles this, and he was going to the meetings on Mondays for 4th of July, and I feel awful how that weather weekend turned out, but thank you, Blake, for the time he put in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's like a double whammy.
The parade was awesome, though. We gave away shirts, so you guys all get shirts tonight. We gave away the shirts and like 75,000 candies. So it was like
We got every piece.
got every piece out. We always run out at the end of the parade, so I think this time we have to reserve for next year. Yeah, the parade was packed.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
Required that they fill them out. Where's it gonna show up? Where did Jessica? Yeah.
Yeah, we can probably do, like a little QR code form if they want to fill it out. Yeah, I'll make them scan a QR code before they can have a cookie. Yeah.
Richie, with the new website, how are the different applications in it for tracking like events?
So it's still a calendar function for the new website. So it's gonna still have like a whole calendar view like this. It'll just look different on the main page, like the home page, how it's displayed. And then our Bartlett Connect app can still feed into the calendar as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's not gonna really break anything, it's just gonna be upgraded.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Our Bartlett Connect was just upgraded. I don't know if you noticed, but it's not as, I don't know how to describe that kind of technology, but the technology is much better on the Bartlett Connect. It's more the Apple way of like round buttons and colors, and it's a little more user-friendly in that way that they upgraded lately.
It is nice, like the notifications are like posts, so you can go there and
Yeah, it's
like a
it's more
blog.
like, yeah, it's more like a social media page now rather
Yeah.
than just a notification system.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You do a lot of different projects, and something that I think you took us ahead. We were lagging, and then all of a sudden now we're like getting ahead of other places, so thank you.
Thank you.
Is this packet something I can share with the chamber board, because we have our board meeting on Thursday?
Public
So
info.
The whole thing is perfectly fine, okay. Because I think that would help if the chamber was also getting some of this information as, you know, we're going through this process and everything, and obviously we'll invite them to come to this event, so. I'd love to have a full room on Wednesday.
I think we will. I
think you
think
will.
if we keep,
I think you will.
all right, anything else? All right, we'll move on to new business. I guess the only thing is, are we still scheduled for next month for our tour? Because I want to make sure that everyone.
Yes, that was going to be what I wanted to mention under new business tonight. It's something that we used to do a very long time ago, and actually we stopped roughly during the pandemic, of doing tours of the business park, or business parks, I should say. We might add some other development sites beyond that, but yeah, that's what we'd like to do next month. Get out from the council chambers and take a little tour of some of these development sites that we talk about. And like I do say at these meetings, sometimes we focus on Lake Street TIF, sometimes we focus on statistics, sometimes we spent many, many years talking mostly about industrial, and this is a chance to see some of these businesses that we talk about in development areas, so yeah. And it's 4 weeks from tonight, so I don't remember the exact date. 10th, yeah, thank you.
It's going to be at the same time at 6 p.m.?
We can do it at 6 unless the consensus would like to do it earlier. We've done that before, but that's when we used to meet at 7, and we were trying to optimize the hours of daylight. And you can see it'll be light during our whole thing, so probably 6 o'clock.
Where are we going?
We usually go like through the industrial park and all around. But we'll probably go past Lake Street then, since we have it this
I think
time.
we'll add that. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
talk
think
about
that'd be
Lake Street
good.
every month. We should cruise by Lake Street, and then, I mean, it would be nice.
He has the pedal there.
I don't think that's in the budget.
We can get half of that trolley.
Yeah. This is not, no, we do, that's true, there are mine tours.
Mine is fun.
This isn't a mine, we're not going 500 feet underground to a mine.
No, I'm not doing that.
Not to mind.
First, someone told me that it was like Ray told me it was 2 miles underground. I'm like, no, it's not.
I hear you get a little coin to say you went underground. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's true or not.
It's like a different world, that's for sure.
You do have to sign a disclaimer,
Sign your life
a
away.
release, yeah.
All right, is there anything else?
The chamber has an announcement. We have an executive director who starts on the 27th of August. So we're looking forward to that. So we are up and running.
Can't share the name yet?
So information will come out. He's going to do a bio for us on Thursday, and then we'll do a press release and all that kind of stuff and everything. His name is Mark. So yeah, really nice guy, very organized. So definitely everything that the chamber was looking for, and we believe that we have a really good assistant as well.
Perfect. That's great news.
Yes,
You ain't
it
kidding.
is.
It's a lot.
It's been a lot.
All right. Well, with that,
It's all good. Awesome. It's all good.
anything else? Do you have something? With that, ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion we adjourn.
I'll motion, second.
So moved. And adjournment took a long time. Usually that's.
Yeah, I was waiting, but I want
Motion by Commissioner Erickson, seconded by Commissioner O'Hare. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Thank you for this packet, that was a lot, but I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, hey, Kirsten, you want me to take that?